Welcome to Germany versus USA. Today we're going to talk about news.
When you come to the United States, what news channel? What is your preferred news channel?
Spiegel Online. Probably CNN. Probably watch CNN, yeah.
See, and then being American, I can just immediately figure out where your views are.
Right.
A little more. Because in the United States, one of the biggest things with our news networks is we have two major news networks, CNN and Fox. And CNN is more liberal, where Fox is very much more conservative.
Yeah.
But neither one of these stations, I would say, are the world's best.
Okay.
They're they drive ratings. And Fox is a little worse in this than CNN.
Fox News got made fun of in Germany a lot. There was this awesome incident when they were talking about solar power in an interview on Fox News, and a woman stated that solar power was really successful in Germany because we had, of course, so much more sun in Germany than you do in the United States.
It's so sunny in Germany.
Yeah, like Germany has like the sun level of Alaska. Actually, it does. The sun hours is the same as Alaska, so.
Well, so Fox News and CNN, they both kind of drive their own agenda,
right? And
which is fascinating because there's actually a show right now on HBO that's called Newsroom.
Yeah. And
Newsroom kind of goes into how like American news stations are. There's a good line in the show called, look, this is tax.
Right.
Or this is advertising funded news. So basically, they're being funded to drive ratings, and the higher the ratings are, the more money they make.
Okay.
And so the news. I don't know. My personal preference on news is I like to look at like the Wall Street Journal or Times, or I rather read it. I don't ever like watching American news because I feel like it's more of about entertainment than it is about actually getting the story.
And I think that's especially true for these local news stations. Like if you watch local news for like for certain states, or like it's probably mostly going to be about some cat lost in a tree, or some dude ate a hamster, or your house was
leprechaun.
Washed, or a leprechaun, or some house was washed away, or some kind of that story, or it's like what a cute child who achieved something in sports or something. It's in Germany that wouldn't really be considered news, I guess, or to be on like the classic news program, I'd say.
With Germany, what about local news? Y'all have, because every city in the United States, we have also a local news channel, or more than one, and then you have and then there are affiliate programs to the larger networks.
Right.
So how about that? Like,
It's similar. Like if the first German television of the Allgemeinen Rundfunkanstalt in Deutschland, they have like the NDR, Norddeutscher Rundfunk. They have Bayern Rundfunk, they have one for Berlin, Brandenburg, and like in the middle of Germany, they have different, and those news are going to be, a little more local focused, I guess.
What about like Osnabrück, or like a smaller city?
No.
See, like...
I mean, yes, they might have them, but they only run for like a few hours, and...
See, here, even a small city, unless you're like just an extremely small, like little villa, like you're going to even have your own local news channel to like kind of drive what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let's talk about German news. Like, I guess the staple of German news is die Tagesschau. The Tagesschau has been running, I think, since like
8:15.
8:15, since like 1952 or something, for almost 60 years. And first German television, ARD, at 8 to 8 o'clock. From 8 to 8:15 is when it runs for 15 minutes, and that's when the primetime movies begin on German television. Like that news show, and it's still the most popular news show in Germany at this point, has had so much influence that actually like all movies start at 8:15. And one German television channel, the Sat.1 I think it was, they tried basically to move that to 8 o'clock. So they started their shows at 8 o'clock, and after just a couple of weeks they moved back.
It's killed the ratings.
Right, and people are used to the 8:15, like starting prime time, I guess, movies at 8:15, so...
Yeah, here we have the classic, like, 5 o'clock news, which I don't know who watches the 5 o'clock news because everyone's still working. And then you have the 10 o'clock news. And if you're an old man like me, you miss both because you're just in bed.
Okay.
You're working or you're in bed.
Another thing that struck me when I watched American news is, on the one hand, it will not be focused very much on international news. That's the one thing. And the second thing is, weather is such a huge deal in American news. I remember that when I lived in Salt Lake City, the weather was on at least 2 or 3 times in the news. like, you know, it was like half an hour news show. They would start like at the beginning talk about the weather, and then at the end they would talk about the weather again. And the forecast was always really spot on. It was always really, really good.
I think though that has to do with where you were living.
Yeah.
Because the weather, I mean, weather is really important here, especially where I grew up.
Because it destroys everything.
Yeah, between the hurricanes and tornadoes and just God only knows what, weather is really important here.
Right.
And you have people complain about weathermen, though. They really do because the weather changes so often. But there is more of a focus because when I was in Germany, just trying to find the weather is just not really
a short section at the very end.
I mean,
of the news.
we even have a news network called the Weather Channel, and it's just all about the weather all day long. And so, yeah, that is kind of a difference.
Yeah, and in American news, that makes a bigger part of it is more centered in the news, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Also, Jim, I know you watch the normal news, but there's another kind of news that you really enjoy.
Yes, sports news.
Sports news.
Yeah, ESPN, and then y'all had something similar though. For
DSF, yeah.
Yeah, DSF.
Deutsche Sportfernsehen, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's no longer around, is it?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, see, ESPN is 24/7.
They also have different channels, right?
Right, they do, and they have. I mean, there's even like the movie Dodgeball when they're kind of making fun of ESPN because they're like ESPN Ocho, and it's like the Dodgeball channel. But yeah, they have like probably 6 different channels. They have like ESPN, they have ESPN Classic, ESPN U, which is like University Sports. And then you also have like a Fox Sports Network. NBC has a sports network. So you do have a lot of channels just dedicated to watching sports that are like news informative.
So news, little different focus in different countries. German news are going to be like a little more internationally oriented usually, whereas American news, you know, the local ones are a little more entertaining. Then you have CNN, which to me, in my point of view, comes closest to what are like the classic German news, I guess. They're good, they're entertaining, they're all fun.
Yeah, and then you have Fox News as well, where they try to drive ratings a little more.
All the sun in Germany.
Yeah. Y'all take it easy.
Tschüss.